Hi, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Danny from TheGlitteredRose. You can find me under that name over on Instagram. I'm excited to share this page that I've created in my art journal. It's a steampunk inspired page and it features so much texture. um, it's got some gorgeous rusty elements, well, rusty sort of texture that I created myself. It's a technique that I came up with myself that I'm happy to share with you. And it's just, I had a ball creating it. I really didn't know what to do today. So I had a look at my supplies and my supplies jumped out at me and told me what I wanted to do. So I based it around some supplies and I think it came out really gorgeous. So the image has come off my steampunk page, which is available in my Ko-fi shop. I'll make sure I link that down below. I think that this collage sheet is just gorgeous. I've done another page in this art journal using this collage sheet. I've done this one. I think that this spread's gorgeous as well. But I love this one. I think that the rust is just so cool. It's really textured. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up on all this texture. So previously I have done rust using kits, but this one is a little different and I think it's actually a lot more yeah, it worked a lot better. So if you stick around and watch the video, I'll show you how I came up with this effect. It's actually worked really well. So I've got different size beads for the texture. So there are stones. So there's a couple of different stones. And I also chucked in some rock candy. Just a little bit. You can see a little bit of not a lot of sparkle. The paint sort of dulled it down. But I also used some very heavy body gel to hold it down. And some thin acrylic paint from Finnabar, if my camera will focus. But it all came together really well. So if this is of any interest, oh, I also used some Infusions just walnut ink for the brownie sort of tone in that rust. So if this is of any interest, please be sure to stick around, hit the like button, leave me a comment down below what you think, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. My art journal's getting nice and thick. I love them when they get nice and chunky. Alright, let's get into it. Okie dokie, so with this collage sheet you also get these background images. So I'm going to use one of these images. I'm just going to tear a page out of my art journal and then I'll tape the page down. Alrighty, so to start off with, I think I'm going to tear up this page and just pop it randomly over my art journal page. I'm not worrying too much about where it's going because it's going to be covered up mostly anyway. I don't want too much of a border, so I'm just keeping in mind that when I rip, I tear it towards, towards the table. So tear it backwards and you don't get that white border. I'm just using collage medium to glue it down, but that's just my glue of choice. You just use what works for you. Um, you know, some people just use glue sticks. It doesn't really matter. I just printed this on normal printer paper because it's just going in the background. For my focal images, I like to print on satin photo paper. I think that that prints really nicely. It's just got enough sheen to um, you know, nicely and vibrantly, but it's not too much shine. So I'm not too worried about the placement. I'm just popping it on, just willy-nilly. Let me know in the comments what your favorite glue is to glue down. I just really like the collage medium because it sort of seals it as well. Because I do have a tendency to use a lot of water in my mixed media. So I like something that will seal the papers. I'm just going to use some old book papers now because I just like a little bit of variation in the background, just to add a little bit of difference in there, bit more thickness, bit of different color. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Just going to pop a little bit more of these images on, just so that there's a variation of what's overlapping what. So so that the papers are not just overlapping so the book's not just overlapping the images. So I've grabbed my gesso from Kmart Australia and I've decided to work with this gesso because it's a little less translucent and it's a little thicker than my squeezy bottle of Liquitex gesso. I've decided I want it to be a little bit more obvious than Mother Liquitex gesso, I want to, um, I want to really sort of block up those white areas and yeah, have the white areas more obvious and just push the background into the background a bit more. I do quite like this gesso as well. It's a bit like their modeling paste. I'm surprised every time I use it at how good it is. So it's another Kmart product that I do recommend. This just blurs the background and just makes everything more cohesive. So when you go to put your focal image on the page, it's not competing with the background. It makes everything sit more in the background. Okay, I'm going to dry that off and I'll be back. So I was really looking for inspiration this morning. I knew I wanted to get into the art room. I didn't know what I wanted to make. So I looked into my supplies. I saw my art stones and I thought, oh, these look interesting. I haven't used them. They're a lot more coarse than these ones. These are dusty. Oh, this is my mixed media gel. It's ultra thick gel medium. I thought, oh, I should be able to stick down those stones. And I also saw this fluid acrylic paint. I saw that and I automatically thought of this steampunk girl. I thought that color would match beautifully with that girl's hair. So I thought I could use the stones, the gel medium for some texture, and I'll run some of this fluid paint through the stones, and we'll have what I imagine to be a rusty red sort of a texture in the end. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but this is what my mind is imagining. So let's see how it's going to go. Hopefully. Let's see. I'm just trying to work out, do I glue it down first or do I glue it down later? Not sure what to do. Yeah, I'm just going to trace around her first, work out where I want her. I'm going to trace around her first. Okay, so with this heavy body gel, I'm just going to pop, yeah, I don't want a lot on my palette knife. I'm just going to lightly scrape, light little strokes down my page. Just like that. Then I'm going to grab my beads. These are called mixed media stones, and they're by Little Birdie. For anyone who's in Australia, I grabbed them really cheaply from Lindcraft. They're very gritty feeling. And I'm just hoping that this this Dina Wakley ultra thick gel medium heavyweight glue is going to be strong enough to hold these stones. I think they should be, that it should be, but let's see. So I'm just pushing these beads into the glue so that they have a chance to grip on and dry. And just pushing it into the gel. It does feel like it's gripping onto it nicely. I'm going to grab some mini art stones. These are by Finnabar in their art ingredients range, and these are in their white color. They're an off-white color. And they're a lot smaller than the mixed media stones, and they're really light. So I think for just a little bit of difference, a bit of a different texture, I'm going to pop some in as well, and they'll be a little bit of a different sort of a texture, and they'll fill in some of those gaps around the stones. So they're a lot smaller and a lot finer. They're looking pretty good. They just sort of sit in around the stones. They don't add a lot of weight because they're so light in comparison. Excuse my nails, they're just deciding, my nail polish is deciding to chip off just while I'm doing my artwork, of course. And they're all yellow because I had curry last night. I cooked curry and I managed to get yellow all underneath them and on them, so that's why they're all yellow. Okay, let's not go scrimpy with the texture. I'm going to chuck in some rock candy. Not a lot because I don't want it glittery, but I just want that extra fine, super fine texture in amongst all this. Not a lot, I'm just sprinkling it in. This is looking really cool. Okay, so now I've got all my texture on there. I'm just dipping a brush into the ultra thick gel medium, and I'm just going to dab over it, not a lot, and just really gently because I don't want to lift up that texture. And I'm just dabbing it on just to try and seal the texture that's on there without lifting it up. After that, I'm going to try and dry it naturally. I might blast it a little bit with the heat gun, but I don't want to blast it too much because I'm worried about it bubbling up. Yeah, I think probably drying it naturally is probably the better way to go. So I'll be back when it's dry. Okay, so that's looking pretty dry. I just want to test this paint, which is called, it's called Carmine by Art Alchemy, which is by Finnabar, and it's a liquid acrylic. And I just wanted to see if the color matches, and I'm so happy with this color with the focal image. I think it's going to be perfect. Yay. Okay, so it looks like this paint might be lovely and pigmented, so I'm just going to give it a shake up, and I'm honestly not going to use too much. I'm going to drop a little bit down and then water it down, because I can always add more, but taking it away will be difficult. And so this paint around the texture, I can already see, is looking amazing. I'm just hoping that the ultra thick gel medium will grip on to the stones and beads nicely with the water. So it's my main concern at the moment with the water. But so far, it's holding on nicely. I don't mind a bit of colour in this page. As it's not a double spread, I don't mind if it's quite busy. I think sometimes you can do a lot more if it's one page. When it's a double spread, if you've got a lot going on it, then it can look too much. The Carmine looks great, but I want to add a little bit of brown, so I'm grabbing out my what's it called? My Infusions Just Walnut by Paper Artsy. Sorry. I love this stuff. So it's just a walnut stain powder. That's really nice. I like it. I'm losing some of the stones, but they're mostly gripping on. I want some of the colours to run inwards now, so getting them to flow towards the middle now. I'm really happy how that's looking. To me, this has a very rusty look in how when things rust, like metal rust, it bubbles up. I think the beads and the stones makes it look like really bubbled. So I think that looks really cool. Very cool. I'm really happy with this. I'm going to give this a dry off. I'll be back. I took some photos to show you the sort of texture that I've got of this rusty sort of details. And as you can see, personally, I think that it looks really rusty. I really love the effect. Pretty proud of it. All right, so it's all nice and dry now. So I'm just going to go over these white areas. I think it kind of needs a little bit of freshening just to try and you know, freshen it up and make it a little less busy. So I'm just going over the white areas and push back some of the rust a little bit. Not too much, because I still want it to be in your face because I love it. So I'm just going over those white areas. I'm going to go over it rough because I do like that rough sort of texture look that you can get with gesso. Something I have noticed with this Kmart gesso is that it does color block really well. So a lot of the colors don't seem to seep through a lot like it does with the Liquitex. So if that's a property that you like in gesso, I do recommend the Kmart stuff. Okay, so I want to lightly frame this. So I've just scrubbed out one of my distress crayons and I'm just lightly going around the edge, not too much. And I'm definitely not blending in too far from the edges because there's already enough browns and colors on this page. And I want to keep as much white as I can on it. So just going in with a damp finger. I'm having a lot of trouble getting the image to stick down. I probably should have glued her down first because there was a little bit of texture underneath her. So trying to get her stuck is proving difficult. I'm just going to add a little bit more gesso on just to brighten her up a little bit more. I think she needs a little bit more. I'm pretty impressed that the rust sort of isn't, oh, well, the paint isn't seeping through this gesso. It's easy to work with. Just popping it on where I think it needs it. That's what's fun about mixed media is it's just intuitive, just what you feel it needs. No rules. I'm going to call that done. I'm just going to hot glue a key on. I think that goes well with the colors and the image. And I'll pop a bit of hot glue under where I can't get her to stick. I think that might help. My gesso isn't quite dry and I'm not going to dry it because I'm going to scratch a stabilo wall into this gesso. And it's going to rough it up as I frame my focal image. And I'm going to wet it and it's going to give a really cool effect, I hope. Just going to grab a wet paintbrush. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but because the gesso was wet, it's sort of indented into, the pencil's indented into the gesso. And then when I've wetted, it's sort of really feathered out past that indentation, and it looks quite grungy and cool. I'm really happy with that. I think this is a really cool effect. I'm going to dry it off, and then I might pop it into the art journal and have a closer look. And here we are, all finished. I have to say, I really love it. I just think that this is probably one of my favorite art journal pages of all time. I really love the effect of the rust. I'm pretty proud of myself. I think it's so cool. Let me know what you think down below. And if you want to get yourself a copy of this collage sheet, you can in my Ko-fi shop. The link is in my bio. Those who are new to my channel, my Ko-fi shop runs on a subscription model, just $5 a month. You get access to, I think, 22 collage sheets or 23 collage sheets, just like this. They're in A4 and letter size for $5 Australian, which is about $3 American, and all their individual images, and they're all high quality. You can have them large or small as you want. No extra fingers, no fuzzy images. And the quality is fantastic, as you can see here. Be sure to check it out. I really do appreciate everyone who subscribes. It really helps keep my channel running and helps me produce images like, like these for you all to create with your own, your own artwork. Oh, I love this page. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know down below what you think of the texture and the page. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already. Leave me a message, and yeah, till next time. Bye for now.